YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another video. Today's video is something that I'm really excited to do. Today's video is going to be, it's going to be actually a two-part video. The first part we're going to discuss girl names that I love but won't be using, and then also we're going to do boy names that I love but won't be using. As you guys already know, I am going to be having another boy, so that's why I'm going to save that video for last. But I also wanted to do a video if I was having a girl, some of the girl names that I thought about before I found out what this baby was going to be that I really liked, but ultimately didn't really make the cut. Maybe the next time that we get pregnant, should we get pregnant again, should God bless us with that, I will be able to pull from some of these names, and some of these names might actually be what I use to name that child. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first name that I really liked was the name Camille, and I wanted to do something different with this video because I've seen a lot of it on YouTube where people talk about the names that they really like and they just state the name and that's it. My husband and I are very big on meanings behind names, and we both think it's very important that if you're going to have children, you should think about what the name means. How will that name represent that person? Say if they're trying to get a job or something like that and they have a specific name. It is true that people discriminate based upon your name. So it's very important for us to make sure that it was a name that would be appropriate, whether they worked corporate America or just an everyday job, but we're really praying that they would do something in corporate America or something like that. And also, you know, something that was easy to pronounce and things of that nature. So the first name that I really, really like, and I still really like this name, is Camille. And I like I'm a little different. I do like the different spellings of names. Not such a drastic spelling that you can't, again, pronounce the name, but I do like the name Camille spelled with a K, and when I looked up what the meaning of that name was, it was perfection. Camille is just a very simple name. It, to me, it is like a name that is very strong. It is a name that probably would demand a lot of respect, in my opinion. Camille just sounds like a strong, name. So I really like that name. Another name that we both, well, these are names that I've chosen. I haven't gone over this with my husband. But another name that I liked, and I was also looking at names that relate to African Americans, like African American names. So another name that I really liked was Ayana. And Ayana means this is a beautiful flower. Ayana is spelled A-Y-A-N-N-A. And I'll put the spelling of the names down somewhere in the video where you guys can see how it's spelled. But again, this is the name Ayana means this is a beautiful flower. Ayana is just another, to me, really strong, pretty name. I just think to me, it just sounds so strong and so sure. I really don't know how else you could describe it as far as I see it, but I thought that that was really a nice name. Another name that I really liked was Nala, and Nala means beloved. There's two different ways that you can spell it, which you'll see here. Beloved, like that's so beautiful. I just think Nala. Such a beautiful name, such a simple name, but the meaning behind the name beloved is just beautiful. So I really liked that name. Next name I really liked was Mackenzie, which means born of fire. Mackenzie is a really nice name. I thought when I was putting together this list, nothing against people with the name Mackenzie, but it doesn't have the same wow factor I guess it had when I first was going through this list and putting these names together. So as I say it out loud right now, it's really not a name that I think I would want to use. So yeah, but it did something for me at the time. It doesn't do anything for me now, but it did something for me at the time. Next name that I really liked was Danielle, and it means God is my judge. Danielle is a very common name. Like, who didn't go to school with a Danielle in some way, shape, or form? whether it was the first name or the middle name, everybody knows a Danielle. So Danielle is just universally, in my opinion, a well-known name, easy to say, very pretty name, again, very popular name. Next name was Alyssa, which means this is kind of interesting. I liked the name Alyssa until I got the meaning of the name. Alyssa means madness or rabies. So that definitely won't be something that if I did have a girl, I would want to name my child just because of the meaning. It is a pretty name. My middle name is Alice, so Alyssa and Alice kind of go together. But no, I'm definitely not going to be using that name, but it is very pretty. Next name that I love is Gabrielle, which has a very strong meaning. Gabrielle is just a beautiful name. It's just, to me, it's just, I think it's just a beautiful name. And the name Gabrielle means woman of God. Next name that I really like was Jalissa, which means nobility. Now Alice, which is my middle name, means noble, and Jalissa means nobility, so they're kind of similar. Jalissa is a cultured name, if you will. It's just, at least in my opinion, it is. It's just a pretty name. It rolls right off the tongue. It's just a really nice name. I mean, that might be some name. It might, fit somewhere in my daughter's name, should I have a daughter in the future. The next name that I really like is Layla, which means night and holy. Layla is another just pretty simple name. And lastly, for whatever reason, I have loved this name ever since I was a little kid, and I had to put it on the list. It's not a name that I'm going to be using, but I was in love with the name Tatiana, and it means one from the name saint. I don't know what it is that I loved about it, but up until a couple of years ago, Tatiana I was like, just as sure as my son's name is Jeremiah when I was younger, I knew his name was going to be Jeremiah. If I had a boy, I knew if I had a girl, the name Tatiana was going to be my daughter's name. It doesn't still have that same wow factor as it did before, but still a very pretty name. I think it's more so like an urban, cultured name, if you will, and one from the name Saint. I think you can't go wrong with that meaning. So those are the girl names that I really like. Again, if I have a girl in the future, you might find out that I use one of these names for her, but they're names that I like. But if I was pregnant with a girl right now, I don't know if I would be using them. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you tune in to my next one. Bye-bye.